right, let's get right to the tail of the tape. And when you take a look at the numbers, you can see Chris Arreola not only has the height advantage, he's got the reach advantage, but more experience. He's had like 20 more fights than Frederick Kassi. And the rules governing this fight: no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight, and the fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. Now, in case of an accidental foul or headbutt, if it happens before for 4 rounds, this one is decided as a no decision. But after 4 rounds, it becomes a technical decision and the scorecard. Both men are in the ring. Let's get the official introduction. Here's Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the Don Haskins Center here in El Paso, Texas. Live on CBS, this is Premier Boxing Champions. The action begins with 10 rounds in the heavyweight division. The 3 judges ringside are Jesse Reyes, Raul Valencia, and Gerardo Venzor. And the referee in charge when the bell sounds, Robert Velez. Introducing first out of the red corner, wearing black and red. His professional record, 18 wins, 10 of those coming by way of knockout against 3 defeats. Fighting out of New Orleans, Louisiana by way of Douala, Cameroon. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Big Fred Kassi. Across the ring out of the blue corner, wearing the blue with the white trim. As a professional, his record stands at 36 victories, 31 big wins coming by way of knockouts against 4 defeats. Fighting out of Riverside, California. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Chris the Nightmare Arreola.
Gentlemen, you've been given your instructions in the dressing room, so I expect you to obey them, okay? Remember, when I say stop or break, stop punching and take 1 full step back. Always protect yourselves. And remember, we're here to see a good, clean fight, and that's what I expect. So touch gloves and good luck to both of you.
Well, in his last fight in November, Fred Kassi was knocked out in brutal fashion, hit the canvas face first. Tonight, he says he's going to fight smart because this is my moment. Chris Arreola, once the face of the American heavyweight division. Training habits have always been his downfall. He wants another crack at the world title and realizes he needs to be impressive tonight. Arreola in the blue trunks, Kassi in the black trunks, the red trim.
Like the stare downs weren't anything to demonstrate anything. I mean, Arreola came out looking really hard at Kassi. Kassi wanted nothing to do with the stare down, kind of had this timid look on his face. So let's see how it translates in the fight. Sometimes it means nothing, sometimes it means something.
That was an interesting move by Kassi along the ropes. He went back in the orthodox position and actually turned southpaw and hit Arreola with a lead right. They mentioned in the fighters meeting yesterday that he had this ability, and they definitely were looking out for it and concerned about it.
You see Arreola came in under 250 as he pounds the body of Kassi with a left hook. But more than any other fighter, Arreola's performances have really been affected by his weight. When he's in reasonable shape, boy, he really generates a lot of punches. He's accurate. When he's not, he underperforms.
That's the thing probably with most fighters, you know, you come in shape, you know, you have that bit more of an edge to you, knowing you're in shape and knowing you're able to fight. When you're not, you don't come in shape, you even lose that edge because mentally, you know, you haven't put that kind of work in the gym.
Paulie Henry Martinez said they worked on bringing Chris forward behind a jab more and bringing his right hand closer to his opponent so he wouldn't fall forward so much. He is showing that they have worked on that. He's shown a good jab so far.
Yeah, we've hit the halfway point here of round 1. You see Kassi here. Through that jab, there's a right hand that hit Arreola flush.
Break! Stop punching. Step back.
It's a real unique move by a big man to be able to do that, and he showed real agility doing it.
And they were, I mean, even Arreola said he has that awkwardness to him that Kassi does, you know, and they have to be careful with those switches on the brakes and stuff. And, you know, it can cost you if you switch up on the brake like that because, you know, your feet are off balance and maybe you get dropped with a shot that doesn't even land clean. But Kassi makes it work. He makes himself dangerous off it.
Stop punching.
And he also could keep him honest over a period of time if this continues to happen.
You might remember Arreola was on the PBC back in March when he fought Curtis Harper, who was largely considered a journeyman, but that thing went 8 rounds, and Arreola said he was lucky to come out with a win there. I mean, but he came in at 262 pounds for that fight.
Yeah, that's about 20 pounds, 15, 20 pounds heavier than he was for this fight.
Yes. Said he largely underestimated Harper, and boy, found himself in an exciting fight and a slugfest as these guys pound each other against the rope. Arreola, a big right hook to the body of Kassi.
Let him go.
Left hook by Kassi at the bell. Arreola went to there. He said, that was my idol. I had to go see him. And of course, the son, Chavez Jr., fighting tonight on Showtime Championship Boxing in this same arena. You don't want to miss that tonight.
I wonder how much the young Arreola weighed then.
He's growing up something.
He's grown something big. You know, but Paulie, he was a good basketball player, good enough to get a scholarship to Riverside College, I believe. Found out he had to play power forward against 6'8" and 6'9" men and said, you know what, I'm going to go back to boxing. This is too much. I can't be a poster child for these dunks.
Yeah, he said yesterday he'd rather fight guys that size than play basketball against them.
You can see Danae in the back of the trunks there of Chris Arreola. That's for his 13-year-old daughter. Alex is on the front. That's for his 4-month-old son.
You see Kassi now in the southpaw stance, and he's got that show-me jab, that little trap jab that he's just to touch. He's looking for Arreola to react and maybe try to counter over the top of it.
He definitely has a unique style to himself, and you're going to have to figure him out before you really put something on him, because he's switching, he's going left and right, and he's quite agile. But Arreola has good footwork too. It's evident that he played basketball. He has good footwork. That's why it's crucial that he stays and remains in great condition.
Stop it. Let him go. Step back.
And that's the thing, with the constant switching of Kassi, I don't think you can put more than 1 or 2 punches together at one time. So maybe you can bury him in some kind of activity if you're Arreola. You know, Kassi, there is 2 shots, but he switched up and he has to stop punching. So you can use that to his disadvantage if you're Arreola, if you can get busy.
There's a left hand that connected by Kassi.
I think that's in his plan to drop 1 and 2s early on and see how the fight progresses. Maybe test Arreola's conditioning as the fight progresses.
Let him go. Let him go.
Speaking of that conditioning, Arreola told us in the fight, I mean, he worked a lot on his legs for this fight.
One thing Chris is not doing now, he's not using his jab like he was in the first round. He's walking in. I'd like to
right hand.
pick that jab up again.
Yeah, because he's picking him off on the way in.
1-2, stepping around.
As he's walking right to him and showing him different angles and different moves and different selections of punches. Just like there, he fell in and dropped something and he rolled right out.
And Chris is kind of smothering himself when he does get close.
Kassi largely unknown as we hit the 30-second mark, only because he hasn't been that active. He had no fights, even though he's like a 12-year vet. No fights in 2005, 2006, didn't fight at all in 2008. Just 1 fight in 2013, just 1 fight last year.
Very inconsistent career.
Well, if he's been in the gym working with other heavyweights and he stayed in condition, it shouldn't bother him too much because he did start at a later age.
Awkward, man.
Round 3 when we come back. This is round 3, Chris Arreola. Fred Kassi. Here's another 1-2 by Kassi.
And I'll tell you, Kassi doesn't cheat himself on those 1-2s. He steps in with them.
He has intentions behind him, and Paulie Arreola is swelling up on the left side of his eye, left eye. That could be a factor as this fight progresses.
Yeah, because Kassi landed those shots solid.
He's really zeroing in on Chris, and he has him slightly confused. But as you said earlier, Chris is smothering his work right now. That's what he should be doing, jabbing and keeping a distant range, so when he steps in, he can counter.
We mentioned, you know, last November when Kassi fought a top 20 heavyweight, Amir Mansour. Mansour caught him and dropped Kassi, and I'm telling you, Kassi landed face first. Good uppercut there by Arreola. He laid on the canvas about 5 minutes, didn't get up. But Kassi was winning the fight up until that point.
Yeah, and he's winning this fight right now. That was a sharp uppercut by Kassi. I mean, just coming off from these awkward angles.
He's showing good skills, and Arreola must work behind his jab. He's just walking right to him and showing him the target as he comes in there, because he's picking up on it long before he gets there. That's why he's dropping these lead punches on the target. Chris has got to work behind his jab and quit falling in and fouling.
I'll tell you what that uppercut did, though. It stopped Arreola's aggressiveness. I mean, he's not coming forward anymore.
We're halfway through round 3. It's scheduled for 10.
This is a very interesting fight at this point.
Even the body language of Arreola changed as he's taking that uppercut.
It has.
Kassi has largely been the active fighter here. In fact, in round 2, he landed about 14 of his 35 punches. Arreola, just 4 of the 22 punches he threw in round 2.
Arreola seems to have changed tactics. His corner's telling him don't reach, so he's taking the fight to the middle of the ring. Let's see how that works for him, but he just got caught.
Yeah, right hook.
The thing, it seemed like he was either reaching or he was too close and smothering himself. But the waiting game does not work for Arreola. He's at his best when he's moving his hands and coming forward, but he's just got to find the right distance to do so.
And Kassi is fighting in a straight line to the target. You see right there, he's not leaping up, he's not falling back, and he's not falling in. He's right in the right position with his feet and his hands in range.
He's going to switch to southpaw for a quick minute.
And as confusing as his style looks, he knows exactly what he's doing. We may not realize what he's doing, but he knows exactly what he's doing. And that's what's most important for him. He knows how to make it work.
Final seconds here of round 3. Arreola only threw 19 punches in round 3, basically 6 per minute. Not a high work rate, but now he comes out with some enthusiasm, and here comes the crowd.
He came out motivated.
Stop punching! Stop punching!
Smothering himself. He's got to find the right distance now.
Well, there is some sense of urgency with Chris. It's conceivable that he lost the first 3 rounds. So if he's going to get into this fight, he does have to get into it right here. He cannot afford to lose another round. He has to close that gap.
Because he's sneaky, though. You see how he smothers Chris, too. He gets stuck on the ropes, he steps in, and he smothers Chris. Chris has to have the presence of mind to understand not to let Kassi smother him, as well as himself not smothering Chris, not smothering himself.
Well, you can see there's a overhand right there by Arreola. Let's go to our unofficial score, Steve Farhood. Steve, is this one a shutout on your scorecard thus far?
I thought the first round was very close. I gave it Arreola. The second and third rounds were not close. And if you're a fan of Arreola, what I would be concerned with is that in the second round, Kassi kind of was a cutie and won the round that way. But he backed Arreola up in the third round. Now, Arreola seems to understand what he has to do in there, and he's fighting much more aggressively. But 2 rounds to 1 for Kassi.
All right, thank you, Steve Farhood. 90 seconds here left in round 4.
The round's still up for grabs, both guys.
Well, Chris is dropping down a little lower now. That helps him with Kassi's incoming attacks, because Kassi was actually getting under Arreola's hands, and that's why he was able to drop.
There's a good left hook to the body by Arreola.
And Chris trying to make a battle of attrition.
Overhand right, Arreola. And another left hook to the body.
That one hurt him. That one hurt him.
Break! Stop punching! Step back! Don't turn your back!
You see, because he tried to tell the referee that one hit me in the back.
A little simple adjustment Arreola's made by dropping down, Paulie. He's able to offset Kassi's incoming attack where he was getting up under his hands. Now he's going back to that same position. Let's see if he burned himself out a little bit by working hard, or let's see if he's just resting a little bit to pick it back up.
We're under 30 seconds in round 4. There's another left hook to the body.
Big investment to the body this round by Chris Arreola.
And again.
Good shot by Kassi.
Yes, right hand caught Arreola.
Kassi landed his fair share of decent shots that round too, but Arreola managed to muster up the tempo and the energy. Pick it up.
Well, one thing we're finding out about Kassi, he's here to win. He's not here to lay down, for sure. But he cannot continue to take these shots that he's been taking to the body.
Now it's Arreola trying to back up Kassi. There's a short uppercut by Arreola.
That was good because that was something that to combat the smother tactics of Kassi. Because Kassi will pot shot you and pick you apart, and then when you trap him, he'll smother you. He'll step into your chest. So the short little shots inside are important to get him off you.
You're right, Paul, and he's starting to hold on more now too.
Break! Stop punching. Watch your head. Watch your head.
It seemed like Arreola made it more of a battle of attrition in that last round, and it seems like that kind of fight suits Chris more than it does Frederick Kassi.
Robert Velez is our referee for this fight. He's worked only one 10-rounder.
He would do Chris good with his right hand to bring it inside also. He's drawing it out wide, sort of telegraphing what he wants to do. And Kassi continues to smother that part of him.
Yeah, anytime the pace slows down, it's an advantage to Kassi. He likes this kind of pace where he can pick shots. When the pace picks up, high volume pace, it favors Arreola. He likes to fight.
There's a straight right hand by Arreola. Halfway through round 5.
One of the reasons Arreola's conditioning and his training is so important, because a slow tempo fight does not favor him.
Here's a left hand by Kassi.
Let him go. Let him go.
Kassi has been as high as 252 in his career and as low as 192, but he seems to settle in on the 225, 226 and found the right weight for him. He's doing quite well here.
Fight your way out.
Owns his own gym in that Tremay section of New Orleans as they clash heads.
Watch your heads.
Right there, Paul, he just deflected Chris's left hand. He didn't even try to hit him. He did it again there. So he's being then he comes over the top of the left hook. He's being real tricky here.
The right hook, he's got right hooks, he's got left hooks, he's got north paw, south paw, all kinds of paws.
Here's a left hand by Arreola. Oh, uppercut by Kassi. And a right hand Arreola.
You see, in those kind of exchanges, even if Arreola has to take a shot, they favor him. The big pace favors him. It's just now he can't slow down on the follow-up.
All of these rounds getting close. Action picking up here in round 5.
That might have won Kassi the round.
And that's the round. We've come to the halfway point of this heavyweight fight. Chris Arreola in the blue trunks against Fred Kassi in the black and red. Corner of Kassi imploring him to keep your hands up, Fred.
Some clashes of heads happening each round.
Let's go again to our unofficial score. Steve Farwood. Steve, how you got it scored this one?
Typical Chris Arreola fight. You never know what he's going to do in there. Kassi's giving him trouble. There's no doubt about it. Awkward. I gave Kassi the 5th round. It was close. I do think Paulie was right. That last punch might have won it for him. So Arreola's going to have to pick it up, pick up the pace against a 5'11" cutie heavyweight. You don't see too many of those.
That's a good point by Steve. Again, the cutie type of style is that little pick your spots, be fancy in there. Those kind of guys want to take their time. You know, Virgil, a guy like Arreola has to hustle, and you don't want to give a guy like Kassi too much time.
Well, he is allowing him to do what he wants to do. Kassi is showing great timing here. This fight is very significant in 2 careers here. And going down to the 7th and 8th and 9th round, if it goes that far, it's going to show a lot and tell a lot.
Kassi has dominated this round thus far with the 1-2s. You saw him connect with a short right uppercut just moments ago.
At some point, a fighter has to ask himself, how many more times do I just want to get hit in the prize fight ring? And, you know, Chris is asking himself some questions right now. Even though he's fighting because that fight is in him, you can see him asking himself some questions here. Does he want it? Is he willing to go get it? Time to tell.
He pounded Kassi with a left hook to the body.
I tell you, man, we talk about Chris's body shots, but Kassi throws those little daggers in there to the body here and there. They're subtle.
Left hook by Kassi.
Chris just took a deep breath, and he's trying to figure, that breath told me, how is this happening? Why can't I do anything about this? He's got to turn it around. He has to go to turn into a boxer, and he has to turn into a slugger at different points. He has to do the same thing that's coming back at him, confusement.
Arreola's really only thrown about 19 punches, 20 now so far in this round.
And you're going to come forward at a QE boxer like Kassi and not throw punches. You're basically going to give him what he wants.
And just eat that left hand there.
Yeah, just pot shot, you pick you off as you walk in.
Well, look how he did it, Paul. He was going to his left, Kassi, and when Arreola stepped in, he caught him with he stepped over to his right and hit him with the same left hand.
Flicks the jab out, Kassi there.
Kassi knows this is his moment. He's not going to waste it. He's going to have to be stopped tonight not to win this fight.
Kassi just looking more confident.
Yeah, another one in the books for him. Chris Arreola taking on Frederick Kassi, and it's Kassi who has dominated this fight to this point. It's gone back and forth, but it's been Kassi. He's been the busier fighter. More combinations.
I'm sorry, but Paulie, right now I don't like Chris's body language. He's confused at this point, and he's going to have to find the key to open this lock here.
Yeah, and Kassi's gotten comfortable. You know, in spots, Chris has made him uncomfortable, but then it hasn't been consistent enough to keep him at that point. So psychologically, Kassi recovers and becomes comfortable again.
You can see the power punches there. Arreola under 100 of them. Kassi has landed 64. 38% of his power punches.
And he's timing Chris's steps. He's just like there, he threw a little short left when Chris came in, but it was accurate. And as you get tired, those punches are heavy and they do hurt from a man weighing 225 pounds.
Now Arreola trying to do work inside to the body. And you get a sense that this crowd is behind Arreola, and they're waiting for something.
Yeah.
It's like almost like you can hear them saying, give us something, Chris.
He needs to feed off this crowd at this point in the fight. It's slipping out of his hands.
Yeah, large Mexican-American population in El Paso. Chris, Mexican-American heritage.
They love the way he fights.
Yeah, and they love the way he fights. He always brings excitement, but right now, he's just in a lull, and Frederick Kassi's put him there.
Well, that's what confusement does to a fighter. He stands there and he doesn't realize the time is slipping away. He simply has to go to work. There really is no plan at this point. He just simply has to go to work.
And he looks frustrated there. That face coming off that break just looks to me a face of frustration, because he finally finds his distance. He's working to find his distance. It's not like Kassi's giving it to him, because he's moving around left and right. Chris finally finds him, and he gets smothered. And he's got to start all over again. And that's frustrating him, because he's probably getting tired here, too.
Yeah, under a minute here in round 7. And he told us, look, regardless whether or not I'm in shape, every fight, I give it my all.
Well, right there, you saw when they tied up, Chris was willing to rest with Kassi. He was willing to rest instead of work. So Kassi is dictating every ebb and flow of this contest. Very sneaky.
Here's movement. Arreola trying to catch Kassi. Left hand, though, by Kassi off the ropes. Here's a big body shot by Arreola. Oh, left hook. Off the break.
Paulie, at the end of the round, I didn't like that Arreola showed concessions by touching gloves with Kassi. It shows a concession, and it's something that you don't want from a heavyweight fighter who's trying to sustain his career and move it forward and bring it back.
Yeah, little subtle things. It could be read into maybe mental weakness, but let's see how he's got 3 rounds here to try to turn this thing around.
He's not showing that urgency he needs to show.
Oh, the right hand by Kassi. He throws these shots so weird, Kassi. It's crazy.
Again, Kassi is originally from Cameroon, but he's been in the United States for the past 15 years. And that area in Central Africa. He's had some world titles. Saki Obika, Hassan Ndam.
Pick him up, pick him up.
He's showing all the characteristics of a hungry fighter, because he knows this is his moment, and he's taking full advantage of it right now.
And he's the one working on the inside, not Chris.
Keeps walking him right into those unorthodox punches. He's taking those little steps over, but he's keeping the punch right there. He's stepping over with his foot, but he's staying right there with the punch and landing it right on the money. Right there, he did it again. If you watch him closely.
Robert Velez once again admonishes Kassi for leading with his head.
Step back. Keep your head up. That's 2.
Again, Velez giving admonishment to Kassi. There's a body shot by Arreola. Minute left in this round. Should he be using the uppercut, Virgil, if he keeps leading with the head?
I think he should. I think instead of pushing him off, he should take a step back and get the uppercut on, because the uppercut and the left hook is right there. If he would take a step back, but he's standing right there and pushing him back out of his punch range instead of taking a step back and bringing the uppercut and the hook, Paul.
And yeah, you know, if Kassi's going to fly in with his head like that, why not push his head down with your left hand and hit him with a right uppercut with the other hand? You know, if he's going to do those dirty tactics, just do them back. Hold him in place. Put your left hand on top of his head if he's going to fly into his head. That way he doesn't headbutt you. And while you hold him in place, you can hit him with a right uppercut. Sometimes you bend the rules, especially if guys bend the rules against you.
Exactly. He should be manhandling him at this point to get the job done. Right there, he's conceding right there instead of stepping back and ripping the shots up the middle. His body language is not good.
Kassi's just a more enthusiastic body language.
Well, again, it becomes a question of the conditioning, Paul, and the excess weight. It begins to look way heavy on you as these rounds goes on, and this man is pot shot you and hitting you on the mark like that. Can he continue to push a pace that would enable him to win this fight? This is desperation time.
2 big men, 2 big punches so far. No knockdowns, no cuts thus far. Let's bring in our unofficial scorer, Steve Farhood. Steve?
I think the fight is still there to be won. I have Kassi ahead. If you make an argument for Chris Arreola, it would be that he's the bigger man landing the harder punches. He's not landing as many punches, but Kassi's shots are not as hard as Arreola's. That's the only possible reason I could see for giving Arreola some of these rounds.
I don't know if I agree with that though, Steve. You know, just because Arreola's punching wider doesn't mean Kassi's not punching heavy. He's stepping in hard with some of those 1-2s.
There was a couple of big left hooks to the body by Arreola to Kassi.
Earlier, Chris did a nice thing by touching his Kassi's right hand and then going underneath, and he needs to keep doing that.
This is the pace Arreola needs right here. You know, and just keep pushing it. You know what I mean? Just make Kassi physically uncomfortable.
That left hook to the body is found, and then there's the right hand.
Finally, he steps back instead of pushing and tries to drop the uppercut. He's got to turn it around right here. He cannot let this round slip away.
You okay? No, I'm good.
Another left to the body by Arreola.
Kassi's feeling some of those body shots. It's up to Chris to follow up though.
Short uppercut and a left hook by Arreola.
Kassi's output stopped. Does Chris have it in him to put the combinations together though?
Right, stop punching. Step back, step back.
Let's see if Arreola has enough to mount a comeback here.
Well, right now he needs to play, Chris needs to play patty cake, Baker's punch. And just touch, punch.
The hands at this point, Kassi's Virg, at this point, Kassi's uncomfortable in those moments. Just move your hands. Psychologically, he's gonna say, man, this guy's got a lot of energy. I don't.
Here Kassi slaps Arreola with a little right hook. 20 seconds left in this round.
Good round for Arreola so far.
Right, stop punching.
It's just about him making a conscious decision to come out and fight and punch.
Here's a right hand by Kassi.
Nice counter.
Another right
Veteran move. I like the instructions in Kassi's corner. Make him pick up his feet. Chris is not as effective when he has to pick up his feet because it takes him a second to set when he's got to throw those punches. So if Kassi can work off that movement and be smooth off that movement like he's done in some of those rounds, he'll be able to have a good closing round.
I think Chris unconsciously heard you because he brought him back to the middle of the ring and said, no, you come to me if you want to win this fight. I'm the big name here. So if you really want to win convincingly, come into my wheelhouse. But he still has to go forward.
Here's a little left hook to the body by Arreola. We've got 2 minutes left in this fight.
This fight is very close. Whoever wins this last round is going to have a lot to say in the decision.
That's what Kassi has done most of this fight. 1-2, give him some movement.
Yep, and then make
a left hand.
And then make Chris pick up his feet.
Let him go, let him go.
Corner of Arreola urging him.
Stop punching, stop punching. Good holding.
To bring it. We're halfway through the 10th and final round.
Chris should bring the uppercuts with both hands right in that
Stop punching,
situation.
step back.
So these weird hooks that Kassi lands on the wall as Chris walks in. Chris is trying. He's missing.
He's missing with that right hand. We got a minute now left in the fight. Another right hook by Kassi.
Stop punching, right. Step back, step back.
There we go.
Short uppercut by Arreola, but
he didn't get all up.
Kassi counter with the left.
He's got to bring both uppercuts in this situation, not just one.
30 seconds now left in this fight.
All in all, it's been a great heavyweight fight.
Yeah, Kassi said, this is my moment as he catch twos Arreola with another 1-2. Arreola says, I needed to win this fight, do it impressively. He's coveting a fight against Deontay Wilder.
Stop punching, come on, break leg.
Gets hit at the bell.
After 10 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. Judge at ringside, Gerardo Venzor, has the bout 96-94 for Arreola. Overruled by judges Jesse Reyes and Raul Valencia, who have the bout 95-95. This bout has been declared a majority draw.